HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time, and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Baker's always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices. And when you download the Baker's app, you can enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. So it's easy to save big. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked-in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Welcome to the Having It All podcast, the show about what it takes to live an abundant, loving life. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I'm helping you get out of your head so that you can truly have it all. Let's do it. What's up, my friends? Matthew Bivens here, and welcome to the Having It All podcast. I'm excited to talk about having it all, to talk about what it looks like and feels like and smells like to live an abundant, loving life, because that's what we get into here on this podcast. Yes. So a couple of weeks ago, I did an episode about financial maturity and budgeting, and I got a lot of amazing feedback. That episode resonated with a number of you. And money is one of those things that, there tends to be 3 topics that you could bring up in a group of friends or at a dinner party, and one, if not all of those topics are going to make people feel uncomfortable, right? Sex, religion, and money. So money is one of those things that, it's important for us to address. It's important for us to talk about. However, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted and get it clouded that money is what we are going after in life. Because if you pursue profit without purpose, you will never have it all. And that's what we're going to get into today. Yes. But before that, let's dig into some magic. So if this is your first time joining us on the podcast, I want to say welcome. And we talk about this little thing called magic. Now, magic is your ability to influence yourself, others, and life in an empowering way. And the reason why we talk about magic is because magic is one of the byproducts of living an abundant, loving life. When you are playing this game called Having It All, and you have the context that we do here in this podcast, what ends up happening is you create many magical moments in your life. But you might be missing them. If you're not paying attention to them, you might be missing them. So we kick off each episode with magic just so that we can help tune our antenna to being able to see the magical moments we are creating so that we never forget how freaking powerful we are. Yes. So my magic on this episode is potty training. Yes. Potty training little Maya. So Maya is going on, she's like 2 and 3 months, 2 years, 3 months old. And this is the second time we've done potty training. And so the first time we were just a little bit overambitious, and we tried to tackle it before Maya was really ready. And so now here we are on round 2, and this time around, it is so much different. Namely with Sarah and I. We have so much more surrender this time around and just far less attachment to Maya getting it, quote unquote, right away. We recognize that it's a process. And there's so much more cooperation between Sarah and I. More cooperation, more teamwork, more communication, and for myself, I feel like I am just way more present with this process as a whole. Whereas the first time around, I was very focused on the work that I would miss due to carving out a number of days to get the potty training thing down. And now I'm actually really viewing this as a really amazing, special opportunity to watch Maya in real time learn something new that boosts her self-confidence and boosts her self-esteem. And this whole experience has been amazingly magical. So that's my magic, really just influencing myself to shift how I view this potty training process, to let go of a lot of things, to really be present and to synergize with Sarah through all of it. And one of the results is Maya's getting it. We're on day 3 and she's getting it. So that's been really, really incredible for us, and it's been magic for our entire family. So that's the magic that I got today. Now, I invite you to take a few minutes, maybe even pause this episode to reflect on some magic in your life. Because again, I really want you to connect this idea that you are powerful, you are co-creating experiences in your life all the time. And when you recognize how powerful you are, and when you see how you are influencing others in life, you will be able to see those magical moments just start popping up. So pause this episode right now, take a minute, think of some magic in your life, and then continue. We're going to plow on with some listener love, because I am just so grateful that you are here right now listening to this, listening to my voice, listening to this message. You're really living into that, what we talk about on this show, the mission, having it all, living an abundant, loving life. So I just want to send a little bit of gratitude back to you. And today's listener love goes out to Philip on Instagram. Philip, man, I appreciate you taking time to just connect with me first and foremost, because it takes time to actually do that. You got to stop what you're doing in the day, go on Instagram, follow me or like whatever the thing is, and then send me a message. And so I'm grateful you did that. And I'm really grateful that you shared your growth experience from the podcast, the growth that you've had in your life from listening to the podcast. That's amazing. That's such a gift to me. Freaking badass. I love it. And just keep being awesome, man. Keep being awesome, Philip. So thank you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. If you want to be like Philip and connect with me on Instagram and get into a really cool conversation, then please reach out, Matthew_Bivens on Instagram. And I'm gonna say this because this is kind of a little bit of transparency. I have struggled in the past several weeks, maybe months, with the communication. And with communicating and opening myself up to getting into dialogues with you. And it's been a struggle for me because I really enjoy it. But as I've gotten more and more emails, more and more Instagram messages, more and more contacts through my website, I've worn some of them on as a burden. Like, I've worn on this thing that, man, 1 day's gone by, 2 days have gone by, a week has gone by, a month has gone by, and so hasn't heard back from me. And I really worn that on as a burden, and that was never my intention for myself from the get-go, and it was never my intention for you to, and this is me potentially putting a story in my mind of what you're thinking of, like, yo, where's Matthew at? He never got back to me. He said he would, but he hasn't. HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time, and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50havingitall and use code 50havingitall.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
So what I want to do right now is set a new expectation. Please continue to reach out. Continue to connect. Continue sharing with me. And I will continue doing my very best to not just read every single one, because I will absolutely read every single person's message, but get back to every single person. And my request, the new agreement that I'm making with myself and with you all here on the podcast, is it might take me a little while. And I'm going to be okay with that. So I absolutely welcome the Instagram messages, the emails, all of the stuff. Please keep sending them. And just recognize that it has been received, it has been read, and it will get answered. So if it's taken a little while, all I'm asking for is a little bit of understanding. And really what this is this is me making a new agreement with myself, agreeing to something that works for me so that I can release this feeling of my messages being a burden. Because that's the last thing that I want to create. The last feeling I ever want to create with any of this is that, now I have this big weight on my shoulders, and it really has impacted my relationship to the outreach and to the messages. And so moving forward, I, for myself, am releasing that, and I'm letting you know. I'm letting you know, because if you've been listening to this show for a while, you understand that I'm all about transparency. I let you know the things that I'm going through. I let you know my struggles. I let you know my breakdowns and my breakthroughs and my magical moments and my wins. And so this is an area where I've created this challenge for myself. So I'm just being straight up with you all. I know you appreciate that, and let's just keep it rolling. All right. So before we jump into this episode, I have a couple of other things I want to announce. I've got a survey going on right now, and a ton of you have filled out the survey, and that's so freaking amazing. And I'm going to be announcing the two winners on next week's podcast. So Tuesday, January 29th, I'll be announcing the two people who I am selecting at random. Two people who fill out the survey are going to win. Each of them are going to win admission into my upcoming course, which I'm currently working on. It's going awesome. And a pack of my affirmation bands. So if you want to go ahead and be in the running to win either of those or both of those things, then all you got to do is fill out the survey. It's just a couple questions long. It'll take just a few minutes. And you can do that over at MatthewBivens.com/survey. And you'll have 1 week from when this episode publishes to when I will select at random two people to win some cool stuff. So go ahead and do that. And the survey is super, super helpful for me. It's really helping me in creating new things for you, new podcast episodes, and really new courses, new things for you to be able to take what I talk about in the podcast and really, really apply it to your life so that you can create some shift, some healing, some growth. And that's what we're all about. So that's over on my website, MatthewBivens.com/survey. I'm also going to be, this is another thing, the Trust Challenge is coming back soon. I'm going to be announcing details on that next week. So next week's episode or sometime next week, we're going to do, I'm going to be announcing the Trust Challenge. So if you've signed up on the wait list for that, you'll get some info on that very soon. And lastly, this has to do with publishing in 2019 and kind of moving forward. And kind of on the same vein of what I was sharing in Listener Love with just wanting to make a new agreement. One of my goals for 2019 with having it all is really to stay in integrity with myself and do the best freaking content I possibly can. Create the best content I possibly can. So what I've decided to do is stick to Tuesday episodes only. No more Saturday episodes. For the past several months, I've been dabbling with, making a new episode for Saturdays, and I thought about a couple of other formats and things like that, but I just found that I was overextending myself, and it was undermining, the quality of my content on Tuesdays and Saturdays and all that. So no more Saturday episodes, no more Saturday releases. I'm really just going to focus on Tuesdays, focus on the core content, and really, really focus on building these amazing courses for you. So that is the last of my little announcements. So let me grab a sip of water, take a deep breath. Okay. Let's get into today's message, because I know as soon as I said it on the top of the podcast, you were like, where is he going with this? It's worth saying again. Anytime you put profit before purpose, you will never have it all. You just won't. Because having it all is not about money. It's not about the things you can buy with money. It's not about the experiences that you can purchase with money. It's not about anything that you attract into your life with money. However, so many of us, I'm going to lump myself in there as well, because I've experienced this at times. So many of us are putting profit before purpose, lying to ourselves and saying, once I reach this, I'm going to feel happier. Once I reach this, I'm going to feel more at peace. Anytime you think, well, I'll be happy if I'm able to just make $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year, or maybe just $10,000 more in the next 6 months. Anytime that you believe having it all is based on your money, or it's based on how many bedrooms your house has, or it's based on your ability to go on exotic trips, or it's based on your spouse, or it's based on your church or your organization you're a part of, or it's based on your friendships. Anytime you think having it all is based on any of those things outside of you, you are missing it. You are 100% missing it. And the reason why I wanted to do this episode now, because this wasn't on my topic calendar, but as I was getting all this feedback about the financial episode and people sharing their financial situations and sharing what their goals were, and even on the survey, I see a lot of responses around shifting up the financial situation and changing works and changing careers and things like that. Those are all signals that you are either on the path of pursuing profit over purpose, or you're heading in that direction. And we got to stop that. We got to catch that stuff, because it's that sort of thinking that I'll be happy when, thinking that truly, truly is dangerous. Because what happens is you are always chasing that thing. You are always chasing that feeling. You are always looking externally for your happiness, for your peace. You're looking externally to fill you up so that you can feel like you have it all. Because you're here listening to this podcast because if this is your first time, right, or wherever you are in your listening journey of this show, you were attracted because of probably the name of the podcast, Having It All. So somewhere within you, you're like, yeah, I can have it all. It's possible. And so you believe that you can have it all. However, you need to look at the context through which having it all is set up for you. What story are you saying about what having it all actually means? Because if it has anything to do with your money, you're missing it. I did another episode a couple weeks ago with Bronnie Ware. Well, not with her, but it was based on an essay that she wrote called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. Episode was on December 18th. And in the episode, Bronnie has done this really beautiful essay. It's a powerful essay that it's information that was compiled over years of working with people at the end of their life. At the end of their life, these folks had regrets. And so after talking to so many of these people, she saw patterns. And there were 5 regrets, the top 5 regrets that these folks had. The number one regret that people have when they're dying, when they're on their deathbed. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Living a life that's connected to your purpose, that's focused on your vision, that's driven and fueled by your passion, that is a life that's true to yourself. Most people that are pursuing money, that are pursuing career, that are pursuing those things, they aren't living a life that's true to themselves. They're living the life that other people have expected. The expectations come from parents. Your parents say, you got to go get a good job. You got to go get a great career. You got to be stable. You got to have this and that. And so, boom, you're off. And now you're living a life pursuing that profit because it's based off somebody else's expectation. Or maybe you're pursuing profit because you want to be able to compete and keep up with the Joneses, because you're comparing yourselves to everybody around you. You're comparing to the other people that you see, in your community meetings, or you're comparing people to yourself to your neighbors, or you're comparing yourself to your peers in school who've gone on and gotten these careers. And so, all right, I got to go chase that profit because I want to be like them, living a life that other people have expected. The number one regret of those folks who were dying on their deathbed: I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself. So if you're pursuing profit without purpose, you are not living a life that's true to yourself. That's what purpose is. Your purpose. And I'm telling you right now, you're in denial if you think that anything else is going to bring you true joy in your life other than being purposeful. It might bring happiness, right? That profit, that money, that stuff might bring happiness right now, but it's not going to create joy in your life. And there's a difference between happiness and joy, right? Happiness is an emotion. It's something that comes and goes. It's fleeting. It's fickle. Happiness is here in 1 minute and it's gone the next minute, right? But joy is a prolonged state. It's like a prolonged state of your soul, of your beingness. One of my favorite books is Power vs. Force by David R. Hawkins. And in that book, he has a scale of consciousness. I got it right here in front of me. He's got a scale of consciousness which measures where you're at consciously. Right? It's like where your state of beingness. If you take all of your thoughts and your actions and all the things that you do and how you operate in life, and you're able to look at them and take the average of them, your average state of beingness, he's able to measure. And he has a great chart. And joy is on here. Joy as a state of consciousness, as a state of beingness, calibrates at 540. Joy calibrates higher than love. Love is at the 500 level. Joy calibrates at 540. It's just behind peace, just underneath peace.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
So joy is the state of beingness. And you know what? Everything that's connected to the pursuit of profit can, and many times does, create the emotion of happiness, right? Like let's say you're an entrepreneur and you reach 6 figures in your business for the very first time. Holy crap, you're happy. You're happy. You just can't believe it. You're happy for a few hours. Maybe you're happy for a few days. But then you get back into that happiness wears off and you get back into those other emotions that are driving you. The fear, the scarcity, the overwhelm, the, oh my gosh, I can't manage all of this stuff. Maybe you get to a space financially where you get to buy your dream car. Oh my gosh, I get to buy my dream car. And you're happy. You're so happy. You get the smell of the leather. You get the feeling of that engine. You're so happy. Happy for a few days. Maybe you're happy for a few weeks. And then the happiness wears off. And then it's just a car. Or maybe you meet somebody. Oh, you meet somebody new. And you know what? There's some feeling that you got going on inside. This person might be the one. I'm feeling this emotion. I'm feeling this happiness. I love this, right? That happiness might last several months, maybe even last several years. Maybe you get married and you go through that honeymoon phase and everything's new and exciting and awesome. But at some point, that emotion will wear off. And it's going to take more profit. It's going to take more business growth. It's going to take nicer cars. It's going to take, a more attractive spouse for you to achieve that same feeling of happiness again. There's a term for this. There's an actual term for this. It's called the hedonic treadmill. What that means is you adapt to the new level of wealth that you have. So if you're somebody who's making like $50,000 a year, then the thought of making $75,000 a year seems amazing. Oh my gosh, $75,000. I can't even believe that. It's so much more than what I'm making now. So you get there. And now you're there. Oh, $75,000. I can do this. I can buy that. Oh my goodness. You feel happy until the novelty of all the new things you can buy and all the new things you can do wears off. Then you're just back to that place you were before. Whatever your average state of being was. Oh, and now you're eyeing $100,000. Okay, I'm at 75 now. If I hit $100,000, holy crap. I can just think of all of the things that I'm going to be able to do and buy, and I'm going to be so, so happy. It is a cycle. It never ends. You're going to keep telling yourself that on and on and on and on. It's always going to be something else. Always going to be something else, because if you put profit before purpose, you're never going to have it all. And I'm telling you this from my own experience, because I've had these conversations with Sarah where we're in here and we're like, okay, let's envision what our life looks like when we're making X amount per month. Let's close our eyes. Let's feel it. Let's get into it. Let's connect with it. What are we going to do with that money? What are we going to pay off? What are we going to buy? Oh my gosh, I feel happy. I feel happy in this moment, and I feel like my life is going to be so much better when I have this much money, when our business has made this much more profit. I've had those conversations. I've been in that state, and I understand that feeling of happiness. It's like, of course it feels happy. Of course, if you've got mountains of debt and you envision your life at a different financial place, you're like, the debt is erased. I feel happy. Of course. Of course, if you've got one business and you're wanting to open up a second franchise and you just think of all the new profit, all the new things you're going to be able to do with that business, you feel happy, like you can connect with that happiness, of course. But let's stop fooling ourselves. That if we really are telling ourselves, I'm going to have it all when? I will have it all when my business does this, when I have this much money in the bank account, when my relationship reaches this. When we start saying you're going to have it all, I'm going to have it all, when something external happens, you are going to miss it. And I've said it like 5 times already, because sometimes it just takes hammering this point home. So take a moment to think. Think just for yourself. I know every single person listening has had something that they really wanted in life. And when they thought about it, oh my gosh, the thought of having that thing is going to makes them feel so happy. And then you get that thing. Oh, I got that thing, whatever it is, a new pair of shoes, a new car, you got into a new relationship, whatever. Oh, I'm so happy. And then at some point, that happiness goes away. And you keep thinking, okay, well, I got to get the next one. Just think about it for yourself. Take a minute. I guarantee you're going to be able to come up with an example. And the reason why you constantly feel like you have to do something else to have it all, attain something else to have it all, find someone else to have it all, is because somewhere in your life you aren't truly connected to your purpose. You aren't living a life that's grounded and centered in principle. And so external things are what you pursue, and external things are what you measure your happiness by. It's what you measure having it all by, all the external things. But when you live a life that is in alignment with your purpose, whatever it is for you, your purpose is that thing that you just feel called to do. It's not connected to an end goal. It's not connected to, because when you connect your purpose to an end goal, now that purpose starts to feel like a chore. Now that purpose starts to feel like something you may not want to do. But when you just really connect with your purpose, that thing that just fills you up. You could do it all day long, all night long, and it doesn't even matter if it ever got completed or if anybody else ever saw it. Like maybe your purpose is writing. And you just love to write. You love to express yourself through written word. You don't care if you never finish the book or if you never write the series of graphic novels, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just love to write. You love to create. You love to spill yourself out on the page in that way. If you don't connect to whatever your purpose is and then begin to live that out regularly in your life, it makes total sense why you would think having it all comes from a paycheck. It makes total sense why you think having it all comes from your stuff. When you are rolling with your purpose, you've connected it. You've integrated purpose into your life. When you've then taken your life and examined it and looked and seen how you went from how you're centered someplace outside of yourself, like a spouse, like job, like your career, like your family, and then moved from that external center to an internal center, something that's grounded in principle. When you have those two things rocking and rolling, you start to move closer to your average state being that of joy, as opposed to the up and down roller coaster that sometimes feels happy and sometimes, probably most of the time, feels depressed, feels anxious, feels overwhelmed, feels imbalanced. Those things happen when you pursue profit. We call it IOU, imbalanced, overstressed, uninspired. If you feel imbalanced, overstressed, uninspired regularly in your life, it's probably because you are pursuing profit or something external as opposed to purpose. And you keep telling yourself that the pursuit of those external things will, once you obtain them, then you're going to feel like you have it all. If you feel imbalanced, overstressed, and uninspired in your life more than once in a day, more than once in a week, then I can almost guarantee you your definition of having it all is off. So what I want to do in this episode, what I want to present to you is this scenario. I want you to just take a moment to reflect. There's a lot of reflection going on in this episode, and that's for great reason. I want you to reflect. Are you currently pursuing profit over purpose, convincing yourself that once you get that profit, you're going to have it all? Is that what you're currently at? Or maybe you're headed in that direction. Maybe you're the 50,000 person who's saying, once I reach 75, everything's going to be different. I'm going to have it all. I'm going to be joyous. My life is going to be amazing and complete. If you're in either of those places, just take a moment to reflect, to check yourself. Because I'm telling you, if you are putting profit in front of purpose, you will never have it all. And the last thing I want for any one of you is to be on that endless treadmill of pursuing this thing called profit, called better job, called more titles, called whatever it is. Telling yourself that once you get that thing, then I'm going to feel full. Then I'm going to feel whole. Then I'm going to feel joyful. Because here's the thing. It's never too late to course correct. It's never too late to catch yourself, be like, oh my gosh, that's the path I'm headed down. All right, let me reverse direction and begin living a life that's in accordance to my purpose. And begin living a life that is aligned with principles. It's never too late to do those things. But you got to know which way you're headed. You got to know. So take a minute and reflect for yourself. But for every single person listening, let's be clear one last time, because somebody out there needs to hear this for the 12th time. If you're putting profit in front of purpose, or if you're pursuing profit without purpose, you're never going to have it all. This podcast is about having it all. This podcast is about experiencing an abundant, loving life in all areas of your life. Faith, family, friends, fitness, finance, fun, every single area. For you to be like, wow, unequivocally, I can say I have it all without even blinking. That's what this show is about. That's what I'm playing for in my life. That's what I wake up each morning, to connect with my purpose, to be fueled up by my vision, and just to have that passion that burns through me. That is what's going on. And if that's what you want, then let's just make sure that you're on that path, that you aren't confusing any of these things. So I'm excited for the breakthroughs that I'm probably going to feel energetically after this publishes, and after each one of you is listening and thinking and reflecting for yourself. I'm going to feel those breakthroughs if you're like, oh my God, holy shit, okay. Wow, I've totally been going after the profit. I've totally been in denial, telling myself that once I get 50,000, I'm going to feel better. Once I get 75,000, I'll feel better. Once I get 100,000, once the business gets that brand new deal, once we get the new client, once we get the other franchise, once our relationship is mended, once my kid is blah, 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 I'm going to feel those breakthroughs you have. So please take a moment just to reflect for yourself. I mean, shoot, we've been talking for the past few episodes about 2019 and kicking off the year. Let's make sure you're not kicking off the year heading down a path of simply pursuing profit. I don't need to state this anymore. So take a moment, reflect for yourself, and stay tuned. I'm going to do more episodes on what it means to connect with purpose. That's part of the course that's coming out, all about connecting with purpose. Because this isn't a thing you just listen to a podcast episode and you're like, oh, I got it. No, this is something that you live in your life each and every day. You have to enact it in your life. You need other people to give you feedback and perspective to hold you accountable. You need to understand the tools and the frameworks about doing this stuff. So I'm talking about it on the show. I've talked about purpose in previous episodes. I'm going to do it in a couple of future episodes. But then there's also things I'm developing to help you to actually walk this stuff. So it's not just words in your ear, so that it's action, it's things that you can live out in your life on the day-to-day, because that's how you truly get connected with it, by being it, by living it, by walking that path. So, all right, I'm complete. Thank you all for joining me on this episode. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you for just continuing to keep me accountable, for showing up powerfully for myself, for staying in integrity, for staying in alignment with my purpose and my personal mission statement. Thank you for that. My name is Matthew Bivens, and here is to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal, physical, or mental health.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.